You just spent an entire week working so hard on an assignment. Not like the last couple of assignments, like you actually tried on it. Like seriously, you actually tried on the assignment and you expected to get a good grade. But the marks come out and not what you expected. How did the professor make such a mistake? Or was it the TA? You followed the rubric to a T. Why did you get such a bad mark? You worked so hard. You're such an A student and you got a C on this assignment. It doesn't make any sense. Well, what recourse do you have? You need to beg for marks. Oh, no, you're not one of those students. Well, there are a lot of those students. You actually have one of those professors that says, well, if anybody asks me to remark their assignment, your marks could go down or up, so you might want to think about it twice. Do you take a chance even though your mark could go down? Or, well, it should actually be going up, so you don't have to worry, right? Well, in this video, I'll be providing some tips on how to ask for extra marks on assignments and exams. Hey guys, I'm Mike. I'm an organizational behavior professor at the Ted Rogers School of Management. In weekly videos, I leverage my student and professor experiences over way too long to help you navigate your student life. I generally don't talk about topics learned in the classroom, but learn the hard way throughout university. So if you are in uni or will be soon, hit subscribe, smash the like, and check out my weekly videos. In this week's video, I'll be providing my 5 biggest tips for how to ask for extra marks on assignments and exams. Tip 1, always have conversations in person. I get a ton of students every single term, after every single assignment, begging me to review their assignment. They want extra marks. Okay, I'm telling you, if you're just gonna send an email, don't even bother. I do have to say that there are different degrees to which an email can be well crafted and well executed in terms of asking and justifying why they should have received certain more marks than they did. But 99% of the time, meeting in person is better than even a well-crafted email. When you're in person, it shows that you're committed to the course and you're committed to that assignment, and it actually shows that you're committed to hopefully learning from that particular assignment. It shows that you're putting aside everything else in your life, social stuff, interactions with other people, other courses, because you're prioritizing that course and that assignment over everything else. So meeting in person is better. And a pro tip here, if you can, always meet in the professor's office. Well, what a lot of professors do is say, hey, let's meet after class, and that produces a bit of a production line effect that's beneficial for the professor. So you got 10 people in line, and you can go boom, 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 most efficient. The professor spends as little energy, as little thought on each paper as possible to get through them as quick as possible. What that means for you is the professor is more likely to say, no, I don't think that you deserve any more marks, and push you off because you feel guilty because there's another 9 people behind you. What you should do is meet in the professor's office. That'll give you more one-on-one time to talk about that particular assignment, to win over, because it's a bit of a negotiation, if you will, to win over the professor in terms of getting the marks that you deserve. Also, no professor will ever say this, is that professors might be more lenient in terms of giving you a few extra marks if they don't have to worry about 10 other students overhearing the special treatment. So meet in person, meet in the office, and it might be better off for you in the long run. Tip 2, remain objective. Don't get emotional, because that's pretty distracting for the professor. Also, don't wear a short skirt or a low-cut shirt, because, well, leave that for Hollywood. Instead, your conversation, your interaction should be focused on one thing, and that's the narrative around the idea that you feel your paper was unfairly graded, and that you feel that based on the rubric, the content of the paper, that you feel that you deserve a higher mark. It's not extra marks. You feel that you deserve a higher mark, and you just want to get the mark that you fairly deserve. So based on that, here's a couple things that you're not going to want to say when you're remaining objective. Eye on the prize. Never say this paper deserves an A or a B, because, well, I'm the person who's going to be evaluating and telling you what your paper deserves, not you. Also, never say that I'm an A student, I deserve A grades, because frankly, I don't care what grade you get in other classes. I care what grade you get in my class. And to be honest, I don't really care either, but I probably should. Never say that you've worked really hard on this assignment. Well, you can say this, but I really don't care. It's kind of indifferent. I don't care how much time you put into the assignment. I care what content you put on the assignment. And that's really all that I'm evaluating. I'm evaluating the paper, not the amount of hours that took you to get there. People always talk about the journey, right, is better than the destination. I care about the destination. I care about that paper. I don't care how long it took you to make that paper, right? Destination, not journey. Got it? And lastly, never say, I want extra marks, right? because no professor wants to advertise that they give out extra marks, even if the nice ones really do. Because if we did, advertise how many marks we give out all the time, then that would invite a lot of people to always ask for extra marks. Nobody has time to just give out marks like they're candy, right? Nobody. Tip 3, go in prepared. Now, I know it might seem obvious that you're entering a conversation asking for extra marks and you need to be prepared on what you're supposed to say, but I can tell you 9 times out of 10, students just come up to me and say, hey, Mike, can you review my assignment? Mike, just do it. And all I could think about is, well, hey, are you advertising for Nike? Just do it? Because I'm just going to say, no, I'm just not going to do it. Or I'm going to skim through the entire paper and not focus on one single thing that is actually the important parts. I'm probably just going to skim through it the same way that the TA or I skimmed through it previously when I was evaluating. So that's not helpful at all. So don't just say, just review it. What you want to do is zero in on specific elements. What are the specific aspects of that assignment that you feel you were unfairly graded? If you can, bring in the rubric. And if you want to impress me a little more, print it out. Print it out and highlight it. Okay? Here are the specific areas that I feel that I was unfairly graded here on my assignment. So rubric in one hand, assignment in the other hand. This is where it says on the rubric, and this is where I delivered it on my assignment. This is where it says this on the rubric. I lost 3 marks for this. On the assignment, this is where I delivered it. How is this not adding up? What was I supposed to do in order to achieve it? In fact, in line with this idea, you're comparing your assignment to rubric. Well, some exams don't have a rubric to go off of. So I remember when I was your age, when I was in engineering, I was one of my exams, I think it was an electrical exam. I was reviewing my assignment. I felt like I did all the steps properly. I just got the wrong answer, and I got a 5 out of 10. I was like, what the hell? This doesn't make any sense. I reviewed somebody else's assignment that did the exact same steps, got a 9 out of 10. And I was like, okay, friend, can I borrow your exam to show the professor that, here's your assignment, here's your exam, my exam, you got a 9 out of 10, I got a 5 out of 10, this doesn't make any sense. Well, he was worried that his mark, he had a professor that if I review your assignment, your mark's gonna go down. So he didn't let me do it. So I said, okay, I'll tell you what, rip off the front page of the exam, and then really I'm just showing you that particular page, right? Because he wanted to protect his identity. All that I'm saying by this is that it's killer. It's really important when you have your assignment or exam and you can have something to compare it against to show the relative worth of a particular concept, area, or answer. Tip 4, bring up past performance in this class. Now, you're only going to be wanting to bring up past performance if you've actually attended class and performed well in the past. If you haven't showed up since the first day or didn't show up at all, you're probably going to want to skip ahead to the next point because this one's going to hurt you rather than help you. I know you might be thinking what the heck? Didn't you just say I don't care how much time you spent into a paper, I care what's on the paper when I evaluate it? That point is still valid. However, what I'm trying to say here is if you talk about past performance and how it really contributes to an overarching story, you're trying to convince the professor that they should listen to you and that they should take you seriously. You're not just begging for grades, you're there to learn. If you're talking about how well you performed in the rest of the class, it demonstrates that you have learned knowledge from the class. You care about the class. You want to continue learning from these experiences and that you're in this room not just begging for marks, but to actually continue your learning. While you feel that your paper is unfairly graded, if they help you out, that kind of validates this notion, this understanding where you went right and where you went wrong. How you performed on paper A doesn't necessarily contribute to paper B. However, it does start to build a narrative, does start to contribute to an argument to help you convince the professor that you care about the grades and you care about receiving the grade that you think you fairly deserve. Tip 5, ask for a bonus assignment. You've done everything else I've told you about. You've met in person, you've met in their office, you haven't worn anything scandalous, which should be reserved for Hollywood. You've brought in the rubric, you've printed the rubric, you circled everything you should have included on the rubric, you've made the arguments, you've come in prepared, you've explained this, and the professor still isn't budging. Well, you should be asking for a supplementary assignment to demonstrate the knowledge in your course. Okay? Don't call it a bonus assignment. I know I did call it a bonus assignment because that's how you think it. You think it's a bonus assignment to get bonus marks. Well, don't do that. Bonus marks are unfair to students if everybody doesn't receive the same bonus assignment. But instead, if it's a one-time supplementary assignment to demonstrate your knowledge that you did include on the assignment but you feel was unfairly graded, some people will go for it. Some, nice professors will allow it. Nice professors will not allow it. Some mean professors will allow it. Mean professors will not allow it. I don't know. I've seen so many different scenarios where they do and don't allow it, so I can't tell you whether they will or not. But all I can say, there's no harm in trying. All right, guys, that's it. Those are my 5 tips for asking for extra marks on an assignment or exam. If you found this video helpful or want to learn more tips on how to make your student life a little more manageable, hit subscribe, smash like, make sure the notification tab is on, and check out my videos next week. Until then, take care.